The most important meal of the day, second breakfast.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another Second Breakfast podcast. I'm Andy Roth alongside Phil Duvall. Say hi, Phil.
Hi, Andy. Do you know what that smell is?
What's that smell?
It's the smell of us selling out.
That's right.
This whole podcast is a sellout. Before we even film it, I'm just going to call it.
So, folks, we have not been, either in our distant past or recent past, shy about saying that we think that giving awards for art is a dumb practice.
Dumb practice.
And yet, here's what we're doing with this podcast. That's all I got. I froze up there. Here's what we're doing with this podcast. We're telling you we're taking the big races in this Sunday's Oscar ceremony, and we're telling you who we think should win.
Well, yeah, I guess that's what we're doing.
Did you not let me in on the plan?
No, you're right. My problem with that is that it just admits to me and acknowledges that we're totally giving into the thing that we say we hate.
Yes.
How about this? Instead of the word should, how about here are in each category, the persons that we would be the most excited to see acknowledged. Can we do that? Just to make me right in this moment. We don't even have to say it again later. But like the person that I would be the most excited to see get a meaningless award would be blankety blank.
That sounds fine, especially if we're never going to say it again, because you know
Okay.
what that says to me, but using fewer letters, should. So there's that.
I don't want to place that kind of value system on it, but that's fine. You go right ahead.
I might.
Oh no, you clearly do. It's not Mike, and that's fine. You, Andy, I think of you as a superior person to me, so this is fine with me. I'm not ready to achieve. I feel like you're El Jefe, or you're I'm Jefe, and you're El Guapo. Okay,
Nice.
I do not have your superior intellect, so I just am glad to be around you, and I hope that you take me to the place I need to go.
Wow. Well, the check's in the mail. Okay. Here's the first. Here are the nominees. The nominees for Best Animated Feature are The Croods, Despicable Me 2, Ernest and Celestine.
You didn't even know that existed until just now while you were saying it.
I copied and pasted it, and I still didn't know it. Frozen and The Wind Rises. Yes, the fire rises.
What's that from?
That Bane from The Dark Knight Rises.
Yes, well done. Well done. Well done.
Necessary evil. Go ahead.
Oh my god, that's really good.
It's not that good.
It's better than it needs to be.
That is extremely flattering. Thank you.
So, okay, here's the deal. I have seen 2 of these 4 movies, or 5. I don't even care how many.
Sure.
I've only seen 2 of them.
Right.
My favorite animated feature of the year was Frozen.
Sure.
It really was. I haven't seen. It was one of my top 10 movies. Period.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that actually. I think this is the worst category ever. I can't believe they invented it. It bothers me to no end that it exists.
Mm-hmm.
But it does.
Yes.
I think it's insulting. To animated features that they would get this little mini category, and it creates situations like I don't know. Never mind. I don't want to get into it.
No, agreed.
I'm interested in seeing Ernest and Celeste. I want to see all these. I have heard from multiple people that The Croods is not just better than it needed to be. It's like secretly a fantastic movie.
I'm almost willing to believe that.
So okay. I'm not sure why you wouldn't just be willing to believe it, but that's fine. I'm not
okay,
sure.
let me restate. I'm almost willing to see it. I'm getting there, and I probably will someday, but I'm not there yet.
I'm gonna see it. Anyways, but it won't matter because Frozen was one of my favorite movies of last year, and I hope that people give it the acclaim it deserves.
Sure.
Andy, go ahead.
I agree with you. I have seen even fewer. It's the only movie I've seen on this list. But I will be seeing The Wind Rises. I love Miyazaki, and
Sure.
I mean, it's a really interesting story. And it's his last movie. For that reason, it wouldn't
I
surprise
don't
me.
understand why someone decides something's their last movie. But then again, I'm not old yet.
There you go. So it wouldn't surprise me if it wins. We're not talking. This is not a prediction podcast, but
You know, we know so many people who have jobs that they only have because they have to have a job.
yep.
And I get why they're excited for retirement. I imagine if your job is to make movies for a living that you love, it's very difficult for me to see retirement as a part of your picture. But then again, what do I know?
Sure, that's fair. Not
Next.
Miyazaki, I think, is the answer
Apparently.
to what do you know. Best Original Screenplay. The nominees are American Hustle, Blue Jasmine, Dallas Buyers Club, Her, and Nebraska.
Ah.
Yes. I mean, for me, it's Her. For me, it's Her.
Yep. Yeah. You know what? I so badly want to say Nebraska here.
Sure.
Because I really think it's beautifully written, and I want, and from the point of view of, you know, the story behind the guy who wrote this movie, right?
No.
He wrote this movie over a decade ago, and it was his first screenplay he'd ever written.
Okay.
And Alexander Payne said, "I'm buying it. I'm going to make it." But he had just finished making About Schmidt, or was in the midst of making About Schmidt, and he had just finished with Sideways,
Okay.
and he like Sideways had just been his big deal, and he just made About Schmidt, and essentially he said, or no, I guess About Schmidt came and then Sideways, right?
Sideways was first.
So
I
he
think.
said,
I'm almost positive. Doesn't matter. Go ahead.
he said, I'm about to make a movie. He bought the movie.
Okay.
And then he said, I'm about to make, I'm just finishing up this movie, which was, of course, well, let's see here. About Schmidt came first. I was right. So he had just finished About Schmidt, and he was getting ready for Sideways. And he said, all right, I'm about to make this movie, and then I've got another movie I have to make, and then this is going to be the movie after the movie after the movie. Like, he said this to the guy and then bought it, and the guy was like, great, this movie's never getting made. And then
Nice.
it got, but Alexander Payne, true to his word, literally like 10 years ago decided this, and of course it took him 10 years to make these 3 movies, but nevertheless, like, and this guy in the meantime just never, and now he's an Academy Award nominated screenwriter. How great is that?
That is great. That is awesome. Has
So
he
anyways,
done anything in the
What?
meantime? Is this still like the only
I
screenplay he's...
kind of don't know, to be honest with you.
It's okay.
And I feel bad for not knowing, but that's my answer.
It's all right. Moving on.
Okay, so anyways, but all that being said, it's Her.
But yeah,
It's
all that
Her.
being- yes.
I just love it. I love everything about Her. Well, everything about Her, including the way it's written specifically, is just, it's just so special.
It is a special thing. It's a special thing. It's a special
Yeah.
thing, and Nebraska is also special. These are all special snowflakes. Art awards for art are dumb. But
Yeah, mostly.
Her is something I'd like to see recognized.
Yes.
Best adapted screenplay. The nominees are
Oh boy.
Before Midnight, Captain Phillips, Philomena.
Doesn't matter.
Thank you. 12 Years a Slave.
Because I feel like it's Philomena unless you're British, in which case it's Philomena, but you're not, so don't worry about it.
Fair enough. 12 Years a Slave, The Wolf of Wall Street. You want to go? You want me to go?
Okay. There are 3 movies here that I would be pleased as punch if they won. Pleased as punch, Andy
Okay.
Roth.
There any?
I think Wolf of Wall Street, which was adapted. Some people think it was adapted from a book. It was actually adapted from Goodfellas because it's essentially a remake of Goodfellas, and I'm completely fine with that. Some people think that's an insult. I don't care.
Sure.
There were 2 movies that were basically rip-offs of Goodfellas this year. One was American Hustle, and the other was Wolf of Wall Street. And Wolf of Wall Street was an infinitely better remake of Goodfellas. And the worst, and just an infinitely better. It blows my mind that American Hustle is getting the love that it's getting right now, but that's a whole other thing. Philomena is just a lovely picture that actually delves into things that I hope will make people think and talk. It's not just a tearjerker or a special interest story. It's, I think, a movie that is profoundly about the question of if whether or not faith can survive religion.
Okay.
Or even, can religion survive religion? And it works within that question. And it's really beautiful. And what is family? And those are the big questions it asks. And what's home? I mean, really big, thick questions, all in a movie that's only an hour and a half long. And you know how I feel about brevity, Andy.
You feel it is the soul of wit.
I feel it is the soul of most things, actually. But in the end, I think I'm going to give this 12 Years a Slave. I think it's a tour de force. And I think that it manages to... Here's the thing about 12 Years a Slave that I'm going to talk about later, but it manages to be about slavery, but also about... It manages to portray slavery by actually being about specific characters that are believable.
Sure.
It's about humanity through the lens of slavery.
Okay.
That's all. So I'm going to give it to that movie. That's the one I'd like to see win. But any of those three, I'd be pleased if they won.
Nice. I'm going to give it to Before Midnight, which is only an adapted screenplay out of a quirk of the rules. It's adapted because the story springs out of these characters that have existed for the two movies before it. It's weird. I have no problem showing this movie love. It is amazing. I love it. And it's the way people talk. It's like
Right.
Mamet writes plays the way people actually talk, but not really. Does that make sense?
Right. Yes, of course.
And it feels the same way. Like, these people are unbelievably articulate, and yet they don't always say the right thing, you know. And
Fair enough.
it's a special movie. And as wonderful as the performances are, they talk the way people who have known each other and been in a relationship together for years and years and years. I mean, I only have my parents and their friends to go on because I haven't, experienced that. But it seems like
Right.
it would be that, I'm just not old enough
Yes.
to have experienced
Right.
it.
That's fair.
And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful movie and screenplay. Moving on.
I can't wait to see it, to be honest.
It's so good. It's so good. I'm so excited for you.
Me too.
Best Actress in a Supporting Role. Sally Hawkins in Blue Jasmine. Jennifer Lawrence in American Hustle. Lupita Nyong'o, 12 Years a Slave. Julia Roberts, August, Osage County. And June Squibb, Nebraska.
Okay. This is a really tough category for me.
Okay.
Mostly because I haven't seen most of the people in it. No, that's not true. I haven't seen everybody. I haven't seen August Osage County, and I haven't seen Blue Jasmine. Okay, but I am so excited about June Squibb in Nebraska,
Sure.
and I fear that Nebraska will get no love throughout the entire evening.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see June Squibb get this. Not, by the way, because she's been around forever. Let's give her the award, because her performance in Nebraska is one of the best parts of one of the best movies of the year.
Yes.
And it is just glorious. I will be fine if and when Lupita Nyong'o wins this award.
Sure.
I will be fine with that.
Yes.
I think it was an iconic performance.
Mm.
I don't know that it's my favorite performance in this category, but it's an iconic performance, and I would get why they would want to award such a thing as an iconic performance. And Jennifer Lawrence in American Hustle. I thought American Hustle was so mediocre, so deeply mediocre, except for the performances, which were astounding. If you can imagine a movie where the performances are astounding and really keep me engaged, and I still think the movie is mediocre, that is where my head was at in this movie. And I just think Jennifer Lawrence is she's in that do no wrong period of her life.
She's doing it right. She's doing it right.
Yeah.
I'm
But I'm rooting for the June Squibb.
Sure, and I got no beef with that. I'm rooting for Sally Hawkins in Blue Jasmine because here's what. So as we have said repeatedly, and as others have said repeatedly, Blue Jasmine is functionally Woody Allen doing a movie version of Streetcar Named Desire. Okay, and from the point of view of Blanche.
Right.
And something I love Streetcar Named Desire. Love, love, love. I think it is brilliant. But something that, and theater majors, I was one of you, don't go all nuts with what I'm about to say. If the play has a flaw, it's that Stella doesn't necessarily justify her existence. Does that make sense? Like Stanley possesses her because he can.
I feel like I'm about to just blow your mind.
Okay. Sally
No,
Hawkins.
I mean as a response to what you just said.
Oh.
Jerk.
Oh, no.
I like how you just ignored me. You're like, okay, anyways, about what I was saying.
No, I blow my mind.
Okay.
Or, please.
Imagine this. I'm super... Andy, I've never seen a Streetcar Named Desire.
Okay. That's okay.
I come on, that's all you got?
Oh, is that what you were going to blow my mind with? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
But it's a Streetcar Named Desire.
I understand
I've never seen
that.
it.
Yeah, but it's
we're
a
not
play,
friends.
and it's...
I've never been met you.
It's a play. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. It's hard to get to it. Wait. We went to New York, and we saw Streetcar Named Desire in college.
When you say we, you clearly don't mean me, because no, I didn't.
Did you not come with us? I mean, clearly you didn't, but I remember you...
Clearly I freaking didn't.
Did you come to New York and not see the show?
I don't even know what... I remember going to New York and seeing... we saw some crazy performance of some crazy play that Shadipto took us to.
Yeah, that was Streetcar Named Desire.
But it was some weird version of it.
Yes, but it was a Streetcar Named Desire.
I guess I've seen Streetcar Named Desire then. I've blocked everything out about that except that I hated it.
Well, folks...
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I literally don't remember this happening. I know you're right. You're right. You're right. I know you're right, but I don't recall it.
Sure. Regardless, this has been an extremely enjoyable tangent. I don't care if you're right or I'm right at this point. Was
that what that god-awful performance was?
I actually quite liked it.
With the naked guy in the bucket? Oh. I'm wrong. Am I wrong? I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong. There was a lot of I know I could draw that man's naked body from memory thanks to that play. It's true. Still, now, over a decade later. Anyway.
Do you know what the worst part about that was?
What's that?
All of it. Make me drive from Boston to New York for that? Oh, God.
Wasn't the worst part when we got lost on the way back and had to get off in the worst part of Hartford? And like we were driving through the ghetto and I was driving?
Did I go with you?
Yes. Oh, you may not have come back with me.
Because I think I might. I don't.
This is.
It's
not,
all such. I don't even. Can we change the subject? I'm so confused.
Second Breakfast Nation. We're moving on.
Can I say something though? One thing I want to finish up with by saying is this conversation is still better than giving an award for art. Go ahead.
That's true. Continue. Here's what Sally Hawkins does in Blue Jasmine, unraveling the tangent all the way back to its source. Go. Sally Hawkins gives Stella a reason for existing. She holds her own with Bobby Cannavale and Cate Blanchett, who are both acting their butts off. They are great, and she is with them every step of the way. She is a marvelous, marvelous actress who does not get her due, even though this is not her first Oscar nomination. She is in the upcoming Godzilla movie. She hasn't been seen in the previews yet. I hope she has a role that makes people remember her, because she is worthy of being remembered. That's what I will say. Moving on to the Best Actor in a Supporting Role. The nominees are Barkhad Abdi for Captain Phillips, Bradley Cooper for American Hustle, Michael Fassbender for 12 Years a Slave, Jonah Hill for The Wolf of Wall Street, and Jared Leto for Dallas Buyers Club?
First of all fantastic performances.
Sure.
All 5 of them.
I have not seen Captain Phillips yet, but I believe you. Clearly,
Fantastic
I believe
performance. Bradley Cooper's performance in American Hustle is fantastic.
you. Yes.
I want that movie to win nothing. I hear it's between Michael Fassbender and Jared Leto.
Sure.
In this category, other than the fact that I don't want American Hustle to ever win anything, I would be comfortable with any of these movies winning. Any of them winning.
Sure.
I would love if Jonah Hill won for Wolf of Wall Street. It's been very clear to me that he will not.
Sure.
I have got the memo. It was showed up in my crystal ball. Jonah Hill will not win, but Jonah Hill, you won for me. You won in my heart. So, I think George Clooney in Gravity has a better chance of winning than Jonah Hill, and George Clooney wasn't even nominated. That's how much Jonah Hill is not going to win. But dude, I love his performance in Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh yeah.
Anyways,
it's great. I will go. I think Bradley Cooper was amazing in American Hustle. Just amazing. I think I got to go with Fassbender.
I also think Bradley Cooper wasn't the best supporting actor. The best supporting actor was Jeremy Renner, and Bradley Cooper was a main role.
Oh, that's well said. That's well said.
Ridiculous decision on their part.
Sure, it's fair. I'm still going with. I wouldn't have minded.
Fassbender.
I wouldn't have minded if Renner had been nominated for supporting.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't have minded if 12 Years a Slave was made by Americans with American actors. But you know what? Apparently, beggars can't be choosers.
Wow.
It's not like it's about one of the seminal parts of American history. Oh, it is. Okay, continue.
You're a very angry man. And I'm going with Michael Fassbender, but I don't need to talk about it. He's really good. He's really evil. It's a movie about slavery, and apparently slavery is bad.
Can I say something about that, though?
Please.
His wife might be more evil.
Yes.
And I find him to have given himself over to evil things without actually being an evil person, if that makes any sense.
It does. I disagree.
Which I'm not saying you're wrong,
but
right? It's such a layered and nuanced movie for something that doesn't have to be.
That's well said. That's well said.
They could have just made a movie about how bad slavery is, and everyone's in it, and it could have been fine.
But
they happened to make a ridiculously layered movie.
Yes, it is a very, very, very good movie, no question. We're gonna take a break here, folks, and we're gonna give you a wild card. Wild card, and this is anything that is not in one of the major categories that Phil or we're rooting for. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'd love you to go first.
My wild card is foreign language film. And this is
Andy.
Andy. I know, right? This is kind of unfair because I've only seen one of the movies and I don't care. This is not, gosh, I want it to win. This is, gosh, more people should see this movie. Apparently, everything that I'm seeing is that the Italian film The Great Beauty is going to win. But I would love to see it go to the movie from Denmark, The Hunt, which stars Mads Mikkelsen as a kindergarten teacher who, because of a misunderstanding, is accused of sexually abusing one of his students.
That's the worst kind of misunderstanding imaginable.
It's true. That is just about as bad as it gets, and something that could have been like almost like a procedural or like a movie of the week is treated with care and delicacy, and the performances are astonishing. They're just amazing.
I'd look forward to seeing it at some point. I really do.
You're not going to feel
not
good
on a date
about your life at the end, and that's not to say.
Well, I mean, I already kind of don't. So whatevs.
Well said. Well said. So that's my wild card. What's your wild card?
My wild card is Gravity. I know what you mean. How is that a wild card?
Hey, Phil.
I mean,
Phil, how is that a wild card?
Because I want it to win all the stuff. I want every category. We're gonna get to Best Picture and Director in a second, and I'm more conflicted about that than any of the other categories.
Okay.
I'm not conflicted on any of the effects and any of the sound and any of anything about the fact that I just think Gravity is such a wonderfully spectacular cinematic experience, and I want everyone who was a part of that to walk away with something in their hands that says, "No kidding, seriously, shaklacky."
Okay.
I just Gravity. I just want heaps and bounds of love on that movie. I'm also very excited about the people from Arcade Fire being nominated for the music in Her. Mm-hmm. And I love them so much. I would love to see them win, whether or not I actually remember the music from Her.
Nice. Well said.
So,
okay. Interlude over.
yep.
Best Actress in a Leading Role. The nominees are Amy Adams for American Hustle, Cate Blanchett, Blue Jasmine, Sandra Bullock for Gravity, Judi Dench in Philomena, and Meryl Streep for August Osage County. Meryl Streep for August Osage County. Jerkface.
Oh, okay, that was okay. No, we were going to go there, but that's fine.
I just went there. I did.
Okay. I mean, everybody says this is Cate Blanchett's award. Here's what's funny. I haven't seen her in it.
Yeah.
I still want her to win because I love Cate Blanchett.
Sure.
That's my answer.
Sure.
I loved Judi Dench's performance in Philomena, and I love that she's nominated for this. I am fully converted to the belief in Judi Dench's abilities. I love Amy Adams in this movie. I don't want anything from American Hustle to win anything,
Sure.
and I don't want Meryl Streep. And this sounds mean, and I don't mean it mean. I really don't.
Okay.
I don't want Meryl Streep ever to win anything again,
Okay.
except for a Lifetime Achievement Award at some point.
Sure.
I want them to stop nominating her, and I want her to stop winning things, period. And if she wins this movie, and I don't care if she's great, I actually don't care.
Sure.
I'm over. I think it would be weird for Sandra Bullock to win because I think she deserves it. But then she'd be two-time Academy Award winner Sandra Bullock.
Right.
Whereas Cate Blanchett's sitting there with zero. She's got one Oscar for Best Supporting.
Right.
And Amy Adams has been nominated 5 times at that point with nothing to show for it.
Right.
So that would be strange. But I think if Sandy Bullock won, it would not. I think it would be. Dude.
Yeah. Amy
What
Adams.
an
Amy
amazing
Adams
performance.
yeah. Amy Adams is turning into
Al Pacino or
Kate Winslet.
Susan Lucci.
That's right. That's right.
Anyways, I'm rooting for Cate Blanchett on principle.
I'm rooting for Cate Blanchett, not on principle, because I saw it, and I'm not disputing your right or saying it's invalid for you to do that, but it is an astonishingly good performance. It is. I know your feeling about Brie Larson in Short Term 12. I have the same feeling about Brie Larson in Short Term 12. Cate Blanchett in Blue Jasmine is one of the best actresses working today, giving arguably her greatest performance in one of the most talented directors working today's best movie in well over a decade. It is just a confluence of events that it is. There is no category that would be a bigger upset than somebody else winning this award. And I enjoyed all of the I haven't seen Philomena. I haven't seen that movie yet, but I've seen the other 4 movies. They are all great performances. Cate Blanchett takes this. She's that.
Here's what I think is interesting. One, awards for art are stupid.
Yeah, I find that interesting too.
2, part of the reason we get excited about this is because we actually just want to see what they'll say and what it'll look like if they win. And I think in light of all the recent hysteria surrounding Woody Allen, kind of fascinating to see how Cate Blanchett takes it if she wins.
Yes.
If she just goes straight forward like it's no thing and just
Agreed.
thanks Woody Allen, or if she decides to make any sort of comment, the possibilities are not endless. I think there's many ends, but the possibilities are interesting. So we'll see.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. So what's next?
What's next? Best actor in a leading role. Actor. That is more fun. I'm having more fun saying that word than
Say it one more time. Say it one more time.
Actor.
Okay. Good job. Stop it now.
Actor. Christian Bale for American Hustle. I wonder what you'll say about that. Bruce Dern for Nebraska. Leonardo DiCaprio for The Wolf of Wall Street. Chiwetel Ejiofor. Yes. For 12 Years a Slave. and Matthew McConaughey for Dallas Buyers Club.
Andy, at some point you have to stop patting yourself on the back for saying the guy's name right. You've had it memorized for years.
I'm not patting myself on the back. It's just an awesome name to say.
Whatever you need, whatever gets you through the night. All right. Go ahead. You go first.
I'm going with the Conaughey. I'm going with Matt.
With the Conaughey.
I'm
I
going
love
with
it.
the Conaughey.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
He is. The more I think about Dallas Buyers Club, the lower the movie goes in my esteem.
Yep.
But his performance in it is magnificent. And also, I have the feeling that if he gets it for this, it will be like a "Wow, you had a really good year" award, which is done.
No, it'll be the year.
Right.
Like, it's not that he had a good year. It'll be the year.
Right. Which is...
He's going to win an Emmy this year for Best Lead Actor in a Series for True Detective. He's going to win Best Actor in an Emmy and Oscar in the same year.
Sure.
That is amazing to me.
Agreed.
Okay.
That's what I got.
I think he wins it, and I'll be fine with that. Mm-hmm. I by the way, love Christian Bale's performance in this movie.
Yes.
I think this is a fantastic category. There's a bunch of other people that I would have loved to have seen in it. I would have loved to see Tom Hanks. I would have loved to have seen McConaughey for other movies.
Yep.
But I would have loved to have seen. There was another one that just like I loved so much.
Phoenix.
But Joaquin Phoenix is the one I would have been my choice. But if any of these five besides Christian Bale wins, who did wonderful work, wonderful.
Yes, it's not him; it's the movie. I get it. I do.
Yeah,
I do.
I will be pleased as punch. That being said, I will, and I think Matthew McConaughey will be so much fun to watch when he wins because he is a ridiculous human being in the best sense of the word.
All right.
I really want Leonardo DiCaprio to win for this.
That's totally valid. Totally
my dream, my little dream in my heart.
Totally valid.
Okay, next.
Yes. Best directing.
This is a two. Oh, you have to name them, don't you?
I do.
Go ahead.
David O. Russell for American Hustle. David O. Russell for American Hustle. David O. Russell for American...
Stop.
Thank you for telling me to stop because I would say that for like 25 straight minutes. That is more fun to say. One more time. David O. Russell for American Hustle.
Okay.
Alfonso Cuarón for Gravity. Alexander Payne for Nebraska. Steve McQueen, not the one you're thinking, for 12 Years a Slave.
Directing from the grave.
And Martin Scorsese for The Wolf of Wall Street. Hit me. What do you think?
Okay, it's a two-person race for me.
Okay.
It's between Gravity and 12 Years a Slave. It's between Cuarón and Stephen. I'm going to say Stephen McQueen. I can't deal. I just can't deal.
Okay.
And Mr. McQueen. And up until 2 nights ago when I saw 12 Years a Slave, I just would have said Alfonso Cuarón.
Sure.
I think Gravity is so masterful.
Yep.
I'm going to say Steve McQueen, and here's why. Without giving anything away for people who haven't seen the movie, the scene with the noose was one of the most ambitious pieces of directing I can remember. It floored me. There were for American Hustle, for David O. Russell and American Hustle, American Hustle. Okay, you're right. It's terrible. Oh my God, I can do it all night. For American Hustle and whoever directed Dallas Buyers Club, both of those movies to me felt as if the director was trying to direct.
Yeah.
And be amazing.
Yep.
And make choices. I felt like they were like, what would Scorsese do? And then tried to do that.
Sure.
McQueen's directing in 12 Years a Slave was just, again, because it was David O. Russell gets performances of actors perfectly. He coaxes things out of people that are just, and he casts it beautifully. It's amazing. McQueen does that and frames scenes and makes decisions of pacing that I can't even fathom. It's so, and pardon the term on our family podcast, ballsy.
Yeah.
Brave and thoughtful.
Yes.
And I just have to give it to him. I hope he wins. But if Alfonso Cuarón won, I would be psyched. And anytime you give anything to Scorsese, I'll just stand up and clap. I don't even care.
Totally fair. Totes.
McQueen is my choice.
Mine as well. I think for a time this past year, everyone was like, if you think anything in the world will win anything other than 12 Years a Slave, you're an idiot and you know nothing about movies. It's already time to start talking about if it's the greatest movie of all time. And you need to pump the brakes on talk like that.
Yeah.
But I realized that for the past several weeks, I've been sort of being a little unfair to 12 Years a Slave because I mean, at the end of the day, what I was saying was at the end of the day, the movie's message is slavery is bad, and I didn't need this movie to tell me that.
Right.
Having said that, here's how I'm being unfair. It's a marvelously made movie. It is. The performances are very good. Everything works, and it is more thoughtful. As you said, it's more thoughtful than it needs to be. In the end of the day, that falls at the feet of the director. I think it is the best directed movie this year.
Here's and what I want to say, I want to add to that really quickly, and then we can move on. But
sure.
I it's not what I love about the movie is that the movie's point of being is not that slavery was bad. The movie's point of being was how it was bad.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
And that and it never takes the easy answer of how it's bad.
Yeah.
It makes you really think about what it means to be human.
Mm-hmm.
As a Christian who watches slave owners quote the Bible, it made me really think about what it means to be Christian.
Sure.
It should make people, and this is a conversation for my Christian listeners, it should really force you to think about how you read the Bible, because it's important to recognize that absolutely unquestionably slave owners used scriptures to buttress their claim that owning a slave was fine.
Right.
And so we need to be aware of what we're capable of doing with a sacred text, how evil we can make it.
Yeah.
It's just, but that's just, and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. Agreed.
So, anyways.
So let's move to our last category, the whole enchilada.
Yep.
Best Picture. The nominees are American Hustle, which I am sure will be Phil's pick. American Hustle, Captain Phillips, Dallas Buyers Club, Gravity, Her, Nebraska, Philomena, 12 Years a Slave, and The Wolf of Wall Street. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I would love for you to go first.
I'm going. So, if you've listened to our last podcast, and shame on you if you haven't, you'll know that I was hoping for 3 movies that didn't make this cut to make this cut: Inside Llewyn Davis, Mud, and Short Term 12. But we're not going to talk about that tonight. What we're talking about is what of the ones that were nominated I would love to see take it, and I'm going with Her. It was a beautiful movie. It did things emotionally to me that I just didn't expect it to do. And everything worked for me. And it was a special movie-going experience for me.
Andy, well said.
Thank you.
What I love about this category is I'm the one who always says that you cannot split up director and film.
Mm-hmm.
And I want Gravity to win.
Sure.
And or Her, or 12 Years a Slave. I'm sorry,
Sure.
Or The Wolf of Wall Street. Wolf of Wall Street, Her, or Gravity, I would be fine with.
Okay.
But I want Gravity. Of the ones, I think just like director, Gravity and 12 Years a Slave is a split.
Okay.
And I think they might even split the awards. Maybe they won't. I don't know.
Sure.
But those are of the ones that are likely, I would love to see Gravity win this.
Yeah. Yep.
I really would.
Yeah.
Just my favorite mythological film of the last few years. Just amazing. I just loved it. So anyways. And I want Poirot to get some love. Also, if 12 Years a Slave wins, Brad Pitt gets an Oscar, and I'm not okay with that.
There's a lot. Could you make me a list of people you don't want to see get awards? Just because I want to have them so I can keep them all straight in my head.
I would, but Andy, the thing about that is awards for artistic achievement are ridiculous.
Agreed. I think that's the perfect
Do you know
moment to... Yeah, apparently not. Go for it.
Do you know who really doesn't deserve an Oscar?
Who's that?
Anyone. It's stupid. Sorry, go ahead. No one deserves an Oscar. What a ridiculous statement.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. And you made it well.
Thank you.
That's what we should end on, because I can't top that. Folks, enjoy the Oscars. We will be live Facebooking,
Oh, yeah.
I think. Yeah,
I
that's
think
the plan.
we're
that's
not
the plan.
educated enough to do anything beyond that at this point.
No.
We're gonna have a thread going. We're gonna have one thread going, and you're just gonna just go
Yes.
along with us.
Join
and
in.
Reply. Don't start a new comment. Do the reply from the previous comment, because
if you-
otherwise it does this weird thing.
If you start a new thread, we're going to mock you. We're just letting you know that now. It's
I'll
gonna happen.
I'll mock you and ignore you alternatingly. Try to figure out how that
ignore you.
works.
See what
My
I did there?
ignoring you will be mockery,
Nice.
and my mockery will be in the form of ignoring.
All right.
I love you, Andy.
I love you, Phil.
goodbye.
Folks, this will bring us to the end of our Oscar preview. I hope you have seen a lot of movies this year that you might have some rooting favorites, because otherwise you're forced to confront the fact that giving awards for art is dumb. Regardless, enjoy the Oscars. I hope you enjoy it with us on our Facebook page. And for Phil Duvall, I'm Andy Roth, and we are Second Breakfast. See you again real soon. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
The most important meal of the day. Second